You know, we had Robert on today. Now, I took a lot of calls earlier, but we really should just suspend guests for the next few weeks, except for medical doctors who talk about the flu, because there's so much going on, and the listeners are what are interesting and informative and entertaining. But our main goal is here to awaken people. And again, to me, it is the racism to make it a racial issue if you disagree with the president. And they're cold-bloodedly doing this. The Chris Matthews and Jimmy Carter, they know what they're doing. They know it makes them the moral authority, and then you're the racist because you're out protesting because the president happens to be part Arab and part African. But going back to Terry in Indiana, didn't mean to interrupt you with the point you were making. That was just another subject. Go ahead now, make your point.
Yeah, Alex, what I was saying is that the media, everything that's done, I mean, whether it's the Tea Parties, the protests, where all types of independents and everybody is mixed in together, well, they'll turn it into a racial thing. They'll say, well, it's all, you know, it's racism. These people are against Obama because he's black. It's not that, you know, any of these people could love liberty or love freedom or don't want to go to a socialistic state. It can't be any of that. It's got to be because he's black. And then that makes it difficult for the people who always get their news from the mainstream media, especially minorities and blacks. When you try to come to them with a message about what is truly going on in our government and the world, then they have a wall up because they believe that it's all about a racist agenda. So you can't get a hedge through to try and open their eyes to what's going on. And it's really frustrating. I tell you, it's really frustrating. And I have come out. I have been out of the closet when Obama was a candidate. I'm calling all other liberty, freedom Americans, freedom-loving Americans, blacks, minorities, to come out the closet with me. Because they're turning this thing into a white thing.
Well, they want us at each other's throats. Because, look, you've got it's very simple. You've got a tiny group of bankers who are eugenicists and who hate everybody, who are putting stuff in the water to sterilize us, trying to force deadly inoculations on us, stealing $23.7 trillion, setting up a world government, and it's in white people's interest and black people's interest and Asians' interest. And I mean, it doesn't matter who you are, 99% of us, it's in our interest to not go along with this world government and the end of the dollar and all the things they're openly doing. Now, if we're getting mad at the Federal Reserve, we're wanting to abolish the Federal Reserve, the American people are coming together, the establishment's going to say tribal warfare, fight with each other. That's the exact way that the British Crown divided the natives and was able to take over the United States. And then what the Army was able to do was play tribe off against tribe. There's only a few thousand globalists. How are they going to beat 7 billion people? We're almost 7 billion on the planet now. They're going to do it by divide and conquer, by balkanization, and they're just cold-bloodedly doing it. Anybody who isn't a racist or anybody who's got half a brain sees this and is insulted by it going, I'm not racist. I don't like, why are you bringing up race? As if the other side's going to listen. They know it's bull, sir. I mean, obviously you know that. But for some of the listeners, they know it's baloney. They know it actually creates real racism because it makes people think about it being a racial issue. But any other comments on that?
That's why I'm calling on all African Americans, the ones who have their eyes open, to stand up. Because once we stand up, and then the people see that there are other blacks who are saying something against Obama, they can't call us racist.
I hear you, and God.
Well, what are these people talking about? And then they'll get to the issues.
Exactly. God bless you. Good points. You should write up an article and send it to writers at Infowars.com and make those points because, it needs to be made by black folks. Look, it's a total diversion. But now we're having a debate, and we have to have a debate about how ridiculous this is to say it's racial. And sure, out of 2 million people there, who are probably a couple 100,000 don't like Obama because he's black. But I'll guarantee you they don't like him for a bunch of other reasons, too. But it doesn't matter. Obama I've gotten emails when I say Obama's a puppet, and I've seen it on MySpace and I've seen it on YouTube. People will say, oh, you're just racist. And it's usually white people. You can click on their channel name and go to their page. You don't like a black man being over you, so you're saying he's a puppet. No, I said George Bush Sr. was a puppet. Bill Clinton was a puppet. George Bush was a puppet because they are a puppet. And I'm actually giving Obama cover here because it's true. He doesn't deserve all the blame. George Bush was evil, probably a lot more evil than Obama. George Bush enjoyed what he was doing. I mean, as a man, I like Obama more than I like Bush. I mean, Bush radiated evil, radiated corruption, but it doesn't matter. The very same, even more evil groups are in control of him. But the system cold-bloodedly knows this is just meant for all of us to get at each other's throats. While the Federal Reserve steals 3 times all the mortgages in the country. All the mortgages in the country were $9.4 trillion, Bloomberg reported. So what's 3 times 9.4? 9 trillion, 9 trillions, 18 trillion. And then you add another 9 to that. Yeah, you're right at it's 24.3, 23.7, but it's really going to be about 28 now. We haven't got, so you're right at 3 times all the mortgages in the country is what we gave foreign banks. Now, are all your mortgages paid off? See, that's the thing. All these liberals think you're going to have socialism and that, well, if David Rockefeller's got $100 billion, I'm going to get part of it. You're not going to get any of that money. David Rockefeller supports socialism because they're going to take the guy making $100,000 money and they're going to give it all to the ultra rich. I have a great graphics guy, and I said, make me a wealth redistribution graphic. And I wasn't specific. And he brought me one of a red house that says $1 million on it. And you got 3 greenhouses that are smaller that were poor people. And and in his graphic, it shows the red house get littler and the greenhouses get bigger. And I said, no, you need to make another graphic of that red house turning into a greenhouse, a smaller house, and all the other houses getting even smaller. And then a big pyramid above it getting bigger. It sucks all the money up out of us into them. I mean, it's so simple. And it's going to get worse and worse and worse. Mexico has more billionaires per capita for 100 million people population than any other country in the world. And they're also the 3rd poorest country in the world. Depending on which gauge you look at, 5th poorest. The point is, they're in the top 5 poorest countries. They got more resources than we got, but they've got a corrupt elite. Same thing with Africa. Same thing with Eastern Europe. Same thing. I mean, folks, the boss hogs don't want you to have a nice life. They want to shut you down politically so they can control you. They want to use the economy to make you poor, so you're so busy just trying to get enough food to eat that you're not busy getting uppity. But it is outrageous. I mean, Jimmy Carter, I've respected some things he's done. But I have to remember, he's a Trilateral Commission co-founder with David Rockefeller. And he is a eugenicist. You know, again, Barack Obama took the abortion funding block off for black kids in Africa and forced abortion in China. And if you think killing black babies is pro-black, then you're idiots. And I saw footage of a Hispanic man at an Obama event in Spanish holding up pictures of dead babies to the Hispanics, and Hispanics were coming over getting in his face saying he was anti-Hispanic because he doesn't like Obama because he doesn't want Hispanics killing Hispanic babies. What is your major problem? Killing your babies isn't good. It's the Margaret Sanger phony liberals that are the real racist. When are you going to figure it out that a real racist doesn't run up missing their front teeth and a Klan hood? When are you going to figure out that there are some of those racists, but they are confined to their shacks and aren't a threat to you unless you're caught in their neighborhood at 3 a.m.? The real threat is the George Soroses, is the Ted Turners, is the David Rockefellers, is the Bill and Melinda Gates. These people want your ass deader than a hammer. And you know who their man is? He's Barack Obama. Because they know if they put a black face on this, you're going to go along with it. And I am sick of it. I'm tired of it. It's so obvious. Oh, man, I'm tired of it. But you know what? It's not going to work. Calling everybody racist and dragging racism out. Let me tell you how stuff really works. Most white people are guilty. And this isn't even targeting black folks. This is targeting guilty whites to be afraid to criticize anything Obama's doing, gun control, you name it, because they don't want to be called racist. And what the left is doing is using up the term racism, so when it really needs to be used against somebody who's really racist, nobody's going to want to hear it anymore. It's like Israel calling everybody an anti-Semite who doesn't agree with every policy they've got. Now that term doesn't work anymore. So it's cheapening the term.